Okay, so here we go. No big changes to like, subscribe, or donation, so no challenge coins yet. Patches are done also. I think the patches came out fantastic. My Midwest advisor likes it very much, so that's all that matters to me. And I'm wishing a quick and speedy recovery to you know who. You're in my prayers. You're always in my prayers, but we're asking for a little extra now. And your better half, I know you're probably running her ragged, taking care of you. God bless her too. She's in the prayers too. Back to the podcast. This is going to be a quick episode today. This is going to blow some minds. It's most likely the last thing you expect to hear from a prepper podcast. But let's start this podcast with me asking you a question. What has two thumbs and does not give a shit if you like it or not? The answer is me. This is all part of the Crisis series. This is not just food to survive. It's a huge morale boost. I'm in no way addressing individuals with food allergies or diet concerns for safety. This is just to give ideas of how to proceed in improving morale. Again, I can't believe I have to mention this, but if anything I mention is a food allergy, potential food allergy, or even possibly a food allergy to someone in the history of your family, don't use the shit. Oh, guys, have your EpiPens handy. I know someone's going to fuck this up. Use something they shouldn't use. There are a few recipes that you should use peanut powder for. Again, be careful. If you're going to use peanut powder, be careful that you don't have an allergy. And before you hand that food to someone, even in the field, ask them if they have a peanut allergy. Use your fucking head. All right, let's get this thing rolling. The first thing I want to bring up, I mentioned it, I believe, in the description. If not, I'm mentioning it now. I want to start an end-of-world theoretical potluck kind of thing where everybody shares field recipes. Real men are real cooks. I don't give a shit if you think it's feminine for people to cook. There's something really wrong with you. The greatest chefs in the world are men. The greatest chefs in the world throughout history have always been men. I'm telling you, I've got a bunch of recipes. I'm not going to put them all on here because I don't want to make this forever. But field chow, I think, is some of the best chow. As ridiculous as it is, as disgusting as it looks, I love field chow, especially breakfast chow in the field. I would really like it if people would send in camp out recipes that could be made on a fire or camp stove with actual prepping food. I'm not talking about bringing T-bones to the field and shit like that. I'm talking about shit you would plan for your get-out bag, your 3-day bag, like, beef sticks and shit like that. There are meals that can be made, and I'm going to give a couple examples. I'm going to give two of my own, and I also have some that I've had in the past that I saved that I'm going to be bringing into this episode. These are all things I've tried. These are all things I really enjoy. Of course, you enjoy them more towards the end of a week if you've been in the field for a whole week, obviously. But they're not bad right out the gate either. A little history. This all started for me in the military. I was in my unit. We were usually assigned to Op 4, opposing forces, for field exercises. Our job was to create as much havoc and ambushes as possible for the regular grunts walking the ground. They usually assign the biggest, loudest mouths, assholes, the guys that challenge everything, the guys that have to be better than everybody else or whatever. They're usually assigned to Op 4, and we loved it. We were creative, though, with our cooking, because we'd get dropped off in the field, 2 days before the rest of the unit would come out, the people we'd be opposing against. And a lot of times we'd have to cook without fire. They might have their scouts out already. We'd be, just getting creative with what we're eating, whispering, handing ideas across. But we always contributed ideas to each other, what tasted good, what didn't taste good. This was mostly composed of MREs and Tabasco, to be honest with you. And before we go any further, to be clear, real men all take Tabasco to the field every time they go to the field. That's just the way it works. Tabasco is almost as important as your AR or your 9mm. Now keep in mind, This is not gourmet food, and sometimes it's just tolerable. But a shared meal, and it's a camaraderie builder, and it's a mental motivation, and it's important. There is no way now today we can all gather around a fire and build a concoction that Wolfgang Puck would be envious of, but we can share field recipes. So get off your ass and send me something. Even if it's just one, if it's something we haven't mentioned, send it. You don't know. This could be something someone could add to, their field list that could make a real big difference in the field, and I'm completely serious. Even if you're just one of those guys that likes to go out and do that, what do they call it, stealth camping? This is the shit. This can make a difference at the end of a bad day. You've been running all day, people are looking for you with flashlights, all that happy horse shit. You can do a lot of this shit on the move. You don't even have to heat it up. I mean, heat it up, it's obviously better, but you can do a lot of this on the run while you're walking fast. I will caution you, almost everything I'm going to mention here, you're going to need water for. If you don't have an ample supply of water, don't be using dehydrated food, okay? It's a bad idea, especially if you're already out there 2 or 3 days and water's limited. Stick to canned food, stick to MREs. And even MREs you should be drinking a lot of water with. But, when we were doing Op 4, to get back to the Op 4 thing, we've eaten everything from rattlesnake cooked in a canteen cup with hot sauce to ramen noodles and dehydrated pork patties in a coffee pot, if we had a field coffee cooker. We could only use what we had when we were inserted, or if we, air quotes, hunted food, but we were forced to become creative, and we succeeded. I truly feel we've succeeded. Some of these guys, I swear to God, they should be honorary culinary graduates, the way some of these guys would cook in the field with their shit you take to the field with you. We learned over time the things you must take to the field if you're going to be out for a couple days. Because if you're a real field grunt, I don't care what branch of the service you're in, you're not going to take that whole MRE pack with you. It's full of air, it takes up room, and it's got a bunch of shit you might not need. You strip them down to the main portions and things you can use, like the little condiment packets and stuff like that. A lot of the crap you don't take, I mean, let's be honest, I've had a few of the newer MREs, and I've never had frickin' the Pop-Tarts that you couldn't, cut plywood with like a saw. They're that jagged and dry, and you don't need that shit in the field. You don't. It's going to take a ton of water to rehydrate to that where it's safe to eat and for your digestive system. So like I said, you're going to strip them down, and you're going to replace some of those components with other things. Ramen noodles, ramen noodles, ramen noodles, ramen noodles. Carbs, energy, ramen noodles. I always save the sauce packets. I don't throw them away because it's a flavoring kind of thing. Not the sauce, but the powder for the flavoring packets. You can always use them. Always use them. Even if you don't use it in what you're making then and there, it's a little packet. It takes up no room and has no weight. Yeah, I save those. I'm going to mention Tabasco sauce again. I want to mention Tabasco sauce a lot because it can save a really shitty MRE. The packets of ketchup, mustard, and anything else you get at drive-ins, I caution you to keep them inside 2 more bags. 1 bag, the immediate bag, and then 1 more bag. Because if you smash them, it's going to get inside your pack, and you don't want that. I'm going to tell you to take more ramen noodles. I'm going to tell you to take more Tabasco sauce. They can go a long way. Canned baked beans, you can put them, a pack of ramen noodles cooked in a canteen cup, dump the water off, add the seasoning packet, and dump the baked beans in there, and you got a whole new thing. It's incredible. My fiance actually told me to mention canned tuna or chicken. If you've got weight allotment that you can carry it, I highly recommend canned tuna or chicken. It's moist. It doesn't cause, you don't need a lot of moisture to digest it. Highly recommend it. And don't dump the juice out. Put it in your, whatever you're cooking it in if you're cooking it. If not, drink the fucking juice. It's good for you and it'll sustain you. You can have some dehydrated foods if you have access to safe water. If you do have access to safe water, like a H2O, a good high volume H2O filter, I'm going to recommend you to carry a lot of dehydrated food. It's lightweight. You can carry so much more of it in the same amount of space and not add any weight to your pack. I mean, half the time you don't even know if it's in your pack. It's so lightweight. Beef sticks and beef jerky. Big important item. Beef sticks and beef jerky. Got to have beef sticks and beef jerky. one or two bags of that Uncle Ben's prepared rice in bags. It's always nice to add to a meal, break up the monotony from just the ramen noodles as an additive. Pretty much anything you want and you can carry that's not going to spoil without refrigeration, that's going to add flavor, I recommend it. Especially if you're going to be out for more than 2 or 3 days. If you're only going to be out for 2 or 3 days, suck it up, eat MREs or dehydrated food and move on. But if you're going to be out for more than that, especially if you're one of the, like I said, one of those stealth campers, you can get really creative with your meals, even in short terms, even if it's just an overnight. You can pack some wild shit and come up with something really good. The other thing is you got to realize how boring field life can be. If you're going to be out there for a couple days, like say somebody puts you out on an LP post or something like that, or I'm sorry, OP post or something like, where the hell did LP come from? Hold on, coffee time. Oh my God, that's good coffee. Courtesy of my friends in the Midwest. My God, that's good coffee. I don't know where I was. The idea of a communal meal has several advantages. Shared resources, which builds camaraderie. And of course, the best stories are shared over meals. Like communal meals. You're going to hear some of the weirdest stories you've ever heard in your life. You will be amazed again how boring field life can be if you are not actively building shelters or hunting food or defending yourself. A good meal can make the difference with that camaraderie and the storytelling and everything else. Incredible morale booster, both the food and the storytelling. Cooking in the field is one of the few times you can express yourself and be a hero at the same time. I mean, honestly, if you're in a group of people that are bored or working their asses off, a good meal that you prepared is a huge event, and you could instantly become a celebrity chef in their eyes. It can make a huge difference at the end of the day. Especially if you're one of those assholes who likes to hang in the back and act like you're doing something and you really aren't. Throw a meal together for the people that are actually working. You could make up some slack that people are going to be shooting daggers at you already. Keep in mind, if everyone brings a few cans of food to share with the communal meals, you can really kick things up a notch. A simple can of corn can make all the difference in the world. One trick to keeping everyone happy, though, this is extremely important, is let them season and spice to their own taste. Do not assume everyone likes food as spicy or as bland as everyone else. If you are carrying MREs, do not throw any of the condiments away that you take out of the MREs. You can always use them later. I mean, always. Coffee creamer can be used to start a fire, as an example. And I'll tell you what, the what do you call it, Kool-Aid drinks that come in the older MREs with the sugar in it, the granular stuff. If you just add just a tiny bit of water and make a paste out of it, you can actually use that to scrub the rust off of your rifle. Believe it or not, no shit. It actually works great to get rust off of a rifle. The grape juice, I don't know about the other flavors, but the grape Kool-Aid with the real sugar in it is incredible for scrubbing rust off of rifles. A few cooking techniques that will help you greatly is to understand one thing. If you cook anything in a canteen cup or a stainless steel pot or pan or a cast iron pot or pan, there's a really good chance everything you cook is going to stick or burn to the sides of the pan. It's just a simple rule. This can usually be remedied just by soaking it in water overnight. Coffee is huge in communal meals. Unless you are extremely prepared, use instant coffee. Coffee is a pain in the ass in the field. And the biggest problem with coffee is you might as well get on a bullhorn and walk up and down the area you're in, broadcasting your location if you're tactical. Coffee is like a beacon advertising your location if you boil coffee in a camping percolator. The smell travels like gossip. Instant coffee, not so much. Instant coffee has come a very long way, by the way. It's actually coming from someone that's very particular about coffee. Some instant coffee is actually really good. If you are not being tactical, I highly recommend a coffee boiler, or some people call them cowboy coffee pot. To date, I have not found anything that makes a better cup of coffee. The trick is to put it in the fire and not on a burner. Don't ask me how it gets better that way, it just does. Also, powdered eggs have come a long way. While not the ideal food, they make a good breakfast. Do not shy away from them as long as you have enough water to use them. On the subject of breakfast, The complete pancake mix, if you have water, can be fantastic in the field. You just add water to it and make it in a pan. You're going to need to get used to pancakes without butter or syrup, but what a great source of energy if you are working hard or it's really cold out. All right, you knew this one was coming. Canned ravioli. It's one of the few heavyweight foods I will take to the field. It is a complete meal in a can, so it's not that absurd to have it. Just not a lot of cans of it. More than cans is too much weight in a 3-day pack, in my opinion. To be honest, 2 cans, it would be the limit that I would carry at any given point. Complete meals in 1 can should be primary consideration if packing canned foods. You don't want to be just carrying a shit ton of components unless you're packing for, communal meals. Do not forget, you also have to take your trash with you if you are in any kind of a tactical situation. If you're using any kind of canned food, which I don't know if that's a good idea in a tactical situation, but if you are, I recommend crushing the can to save room unless you will use them to boil water for dehydrated foods. Another helpful tip, if you are using MREs, always save your spoon or utensil that comes with your food. Always leave one in your pack even after you are done with your adventure. I have one with a hole drilled in it and on the same retaining cord as my P38 can opener. Even if your canned food has a pull tab, you're screwed without a spoon to eat it. If you are eating dehydrated food in a bag, just to add water food, I'm unaware of any of them that come with a spoon. You always need a spoon, and not the cheap white ones that you use at picnics. The MREs, the brown or the green heavy-duty spoons. They're great. They last forever. I always have 2 or 3 in my pack because there's always some asshole that comes to the field without one when we go camping. A nice set of cookware is recommended if you're not tactical. If you're tactical, man up and eat your shit cold. Unless the weather is below 20 degrees, there's not much of a reason you need to eat your food hot. The problem is you're going to create smells that travel with any kind of food you heat. The advantage to eating your food cold is you can eat it while you're walking. You don't have to do anything. You just eat it. It's being tactical requires sacrifices, and one of them is you're not going to be heating your food up. You're probably never going to be heating your food up. So keep that in mind. And if you're too much of a spoiled bitch to eat your food cold, just sell your guns now and accept the fact that you will either die in a tactical environment or you're going to become somebody's bitch, one or the other. Learn to eat your food cold. I will state it one more time. If you're tactical, you must take all your wrappers and other trash with you. If you are stopping to eat, you could bury it, but if your opposition is any kind of an outdoorsman, they're going to find your dig site. It will give away the number in your group, and if you are coming after, they can tell by what you're eating if you're packing heavy or packing light, and if you have good stuff, you probably have more good stuff. Personally, if I was trying to track somebody and I came upon a dig site and opened it up and it was just canned beets, I'd leave them go. I don't want anything to do with anybody that eats canned beets. You get my idea, or you get my drift? So, back to what I was talking about originally with the what do we call it? The and the World Potluck. I really want to push for everybody to get involved in this that's listening, or as many of you as can. And if you've never done it, you obviously can't send something, but listen to what we're saying, and I will be adding more again. I'll just do a quick blurb with more meals or something like that. I realize a great deal of these provide cookware, but some can be done with just MREs. Keep in mind, the stuff I save is mostly from years ago when I was in the field, in the military. Some of the recipes will need to be adjusted for current MRE contents that weren't available when I was in, but the principles are all the same. The older MREs still floating around out there still are usable, and feel free to try some of these recipes out so you know what I'm talking about if you have some. Probably if you have recipes from the late 80s, you should, if you have MREs from the late 80s, you should probably be rotating them out anyhow. Other ingredients, but you can pack other ingredients. You don't need what's in MREs. You can pack, crackers are crackers. They're lightweight. You're going to crush them anyhow for most meals. You can take, Ritz crackers or whatever you want. Again, just pack them in 2 bags. Dehydrated fruit is the same everywhere. Now that's not dried fruit. That stuff with the sugar on it that's, like semi-soft. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about dehydrated, crunchy like a cracker fruit. I highly recommend that as long as you have water. And coffee creamer is coffee creamer, which is an ingredient in a lot of stuff that you make in the field. I'm going to give you an example. One of my personal favorites is a tactical crumble. It's 1 pack of MRE crackers, 1 packet of MRE coffee creamer, 1 packet of MRE sugar, 1 packet of dehydrated fruit, whatever that fruit is going to be. It's usually strawberries, I believe, and enough water to hydrate the food, or the fruit. All you do is add water to the fruit to start, crush your crackers, add it to the fruit, stir it up, followed by the sugar, and then the coffee creamer, stir it up again. Wait like 2 minutes and eat it. It's really good. I swear to you, especially after a week in the field, it's freaking excellent. One more that I used to do all the time, is if you have a canteen cup, of course, crush up a packet of ramen noodles dry. Add any type of sauce or gravy-laden main course, or even a can of baked beans. Shake some Tabasco in there. Heat it if not tactical. If tactical, your noodles are going to be crunchy, but they will still be good. You just mix it up and eat it. It's ugly, but it is good. Now, the following are not my own, but I have tried them and I have enjoyed them. These recipes really take it up a level. Somebody put some thought into these. And it's all stuff that's usually carried in most field packs. Again, you can make adjustments to the recipes or adjust your loadout to accommodate these. It's up to you. You can just eat the shit out of the packs the way they come, but you're going to get sick of them. And like I said, it gets very monotonous, and it's not really a morale builder when you open up your pack and you pull out the MRE and you're like, oh shit, not this again. That's why I'm telling you how to do this. It's a morale builder. It's not just combat or tactical eating. This is part of the Crisis series. This is a morale builder. I'm really coming at it more from that point than any other point. If you want, you can email me and I'll send you all these things that I'm talking about right now. Again, I've tried all of them and they all pass in my book. One of my all-time favorites is called Ranger Hash. The ingredients are commonly carried. Beef jerky or some kind of canned meat. Like I said, the rice that I used to, the Uncle Ben's rice, or even instant mashed potatoes if you have water. Also, ramen noodles. Cheese spread packet out of an MRE. Some people like the electrolyte drink powder in there just to give it a little weird flavor. I don't put that in, but that's what a lot of people do. Definitely Tabasco. You're going to add some crackers to it. You can add dehydrated vegetables or soup mix. And if you take that already cooked bacon to the field, like I've done that already for camping, not for tactical, but for camping, like bacon bits, they're really good to use too. You boil some water in your canteen cup. You add the broken up ramen noodles, dehydrated vegetables. If you have instant rice. You're going to toss in the chopped up beef jerky or stir in the canned meat. Once all this is kind of getting done, you're going to add instant potatoes if you have instant potatoes to thicken it, or rice. I don't know if I said instant potatoes before, but yeah, instant mashed potatoes. When it's done, you're going to stir in a cheese spread and hot sauce, stir it up really good. You can crush up some crackers on the top for texture if you want. This shit is incredible. It's calorie dense, and it's honestly in my top 20 favorite foods. It's got to be one of my top 20 favorite foods, whether it's field, chow, restaurant, it doesn't matter. It's ugly as shit. It's spectacularly ugly, but it's really good. Most field meals don't look good. There's a woodland breakfast slop that I've tried. It's very close to this recipe, although it didn't have the crushed nuts in it. This is instant oatmeal, a peanut butter packet, crushed nuts or trail mix. If you have some of those packets of honey, if not, you don't need it. You can use sugar. And like just a little bit, like coffee that's already made, just a little bit of coffee. That's what you're going to use for your moisture is coffee. You're going to stir this shit up, and I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to look like a roofing compound, but it tastes really, really good. There's also one that's called Poor Decisions Pad Thai. I don't know why it's called that because it's actually pretty good. And again, peanut allergy alert here, just so you know. You need ramen noodles, peanut butter packet, hot sauce, beef jerky, and for some strange reason, I don't know why it works, but you want a little bit of lime drink powder. I carry that dehydrated lime. It's not Kool-Aid, it's just a dehydrated lime juice. I always have that because I like to put it in my canteen and with a little bit of salt. And that's what I drink when I'm in the field. It sounds like a dare, but when you mix all this stuff together, it's really good. And I'm going to give you one more. It's called the Moral Matters Dessert. It's crushed cookies that you take to the field. It can be anything. It can be Oreos. It can be chocolate chips. It doesn't matter. You're going to use like a pudding cup or like a protein pudding powder you can even use. You're going to put some instant coffee powder in there, and you're going to put cocoa from a cocoa packet in there. You're going to mix this all to flavor. You're going to have to mess around with it. I don't use the coffee powder. A lot of people say use the coffee powder and add water. I just pour some water in it or some coffee, mixed coffee in it and mix it up. It's incredible how good these things can be, especially after a week or two in the field. This is not rocket science, as you can see, and it does not require a culinary degree, just a little bit of imagination. And if you're listening to this and you think you can do better or you have done better, you got to prove it. I'm going to call it bullshit until you prove it. You send it to me in email, and with your permission, I will add it to the recipe segment in a later episode. I recommend you test this first because I'm going to tear you up if it sucks. So, to review, you're not going to take down Bobby Flay with any of these meals, but it could boost morale after a week in the suck. It really could. Something as simple as one of these crazy-ass meals. You sit there and eat it with each other. First thing you're going to do is watch everybody get blown away because it tastes so good. You're going to talk about it for a while, and then the crazy stories are going to start, and that's when you really build morale. To me, the morale is one of the survival elements in the field. It's every bit as important as your shelter, your weapon system, your food itself. Morale is extremely important because don't forget, I told you before, your mind is going to quit before your body quits every time, unless you're just that out of shape. But your mind will give up 100% before your body will give up 100%. Good food can make all the difference in the world. Y'all watch your six and peace out, and don't forget to send some recipes if you have them. I want commonly carried ingredients, not, like I said, T-bones and ribeyes and spare ribs. Y'all take care.